have a look at Layla, lyrics and chords. So I'm going to show you the lyrics here and the chords. It looks quite a lot, but really you've got an intro, a verse and a chorus, and it constantly repeats. So even though this looks a lot, once you've mastered it, and I'm going to show you some easy ways to get around it, it is pretty straightforward. Now, a lot of the time you see things like with B flat and all these minor and major chords, and there are ways to play these chords where these do move very quick, these chords, so there's ways to play them where you can move them around pretty quick, and I'm just going to establish that now. So if you did power chords, say for instance you play a note on a string, the next note down 2 frets across you want to press on. So if I'm on the 3rd fret there on the 5th string, I want to be on the 5th fret there on the 4th, and I'm going to pluck that. You can extend that power chord by using your 3rd finger there and then putting your little finger below it. So if you're feeling that that's a bit too easy and you want to get it sounding a bit more fuller, you can actually use your 3rd finger there for the power chord shape and your little finger under it. Now the reason why I'm saying this, because so many rock songs have used power chords. If you did like, if I showed you some riffs, alright, if you notice, all I was playing was this one shape. It's like someone super glued my hand into that position. Now if you find it 3 fingers too hard, just use the 2 fingers, it'll work the same. So, you know, it is good to learn a power chord because most rock songs have that. Now what you got to learn then is just the numbers, sorry, the letters of the notes. So like E, F, G, A, B, C, etc. A, B, C, D, E. So if you know the notes, then you can place these power chords on their notes and it'll become that chord. Now a power chord takes out all the niceness out of a chord, like the things that make chords sound pretty, so it makes it a harder sounding chord. So that's why it's good for rock music. So to give you an example of that, if I played you a D major 7, a full chord, it sounds really nice, okay? But if you take away all the niceness out and just do the top 2, it's a harder hitting chord. Even though it's got less things in it, it makes it seem a bit more aggressive. So how are we going to put that into practice? Okay, so I'm going to share screen with you now. I'll tell you what, I'm just going to focus in on the very first intro section. So I've done another video with the main riff, and these are the chords that I played over the main riff. So you got a D minor, and then you got a B flat and a C and a D minor. So that sounds kind of like something you wouldn't even touch if you're a beginner. But if you take the principle of the power chords, I start there on the 5th fret, 5th string with the power chord, and then because this note here is a D, so there's your D, and then your B flat's here on the 1st fret of this 5th string, so I'm going to move it down there. And then you C, you could do a C like this, but we're going to keep the power chord feel going because then it'll feel more consistent. So you move that to the 3rd fret because this note here is a C. So here's a D, here's a B flat, here's a C, and here's a D. I'll repeat that again. So here's a D, this note's a B flat, C, back to D. So you can see on the chart here, that's the opening sequence. So I'm going to use this start notes like I've just said, but put the power chord on. I'll tell you, I'll use 2 fingers because I'll just take it that most of you are just beginning. So now it's sounding more like a chord. So B flat, then C, back to the D. So what's happening here is a line to a line is worth 4 beats when you see music like this. So if you can see that there's 2 chords within this, within the line to a line, that's called a bar, the line to a line. So they're going to get 2 beats each. So if the line to line's worth 4, it splits in half. So D minor, 1, 2 to B flat, 3, 4, then C, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so if I was to show you the rest of this intro, you could see it plays the D minor, so it doesn't look as intimidating now. So D minor, B flat, C and D repeats here. It repeats again here and here, so that's 4 times, 5 times, and on the 6th time something happens at the end here. So you got D minor, 5th fret, 5th string, down to the 1st fret, 5th string, then up to the 3rd fret, 1, 2, and then A is 3, C is 4. So you can play your A up here on the top string, 5th fret, because this note here is an A. Isn't it great how you can play all these chords but with that just one shape? You know, it's a really nice way to get around some songs. So A, C, so you might want to practice 2 beats on C, 1, 2, and then A, C. So C, 1, 2, then A, C. So putting the D minor in front of it and the B flat. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so I'm going to play this intro. So really slow. So D minor to the 1st fret, 3rd fret, and back to the D minor. And we're going to do that again. So D minor, B flat, C, D minor. You can just pick them notes individually if you want. First fret, and back up to the 5th. Now we're on the 3rd line down. D, B flat, C, and D minor. Now the last 2 bars, so D, B flat, then C, then A, C. Okay, so when you're strumming these power chords, you don't want to be strumming them all. It's not like a G or E minor. It's not like that. You've got to just be either, when you're a beginner, just picking them 2 strings, strumming them both together, or when you get more advanced, flatten your fingers, opposed to your open chords where you're always hooking them round. You flatten them so all these other notes become muted, and then you can strum them. So that's a bit more advanced. So, and this first finger's touching the 6th string. So really, even though I'm strumming them all, you can only hear them 2, because all the others are muted. So it'll be like. But if you're a beginner. Okay, so I'm going to go to the verse 1 now. So this is the point where actually it would sound good not doing the power chord, because you've got some nice notes in here. If I was to do the last 2 bars of this, it goes. So that is the point. You do want the nice sort of tones out of these chords. So as a following from I'm Not in Love, the 10cc one, these share the same chords within that. So the C sharp minor, you're on the 5th string, move up to the 4th fret, and you've got to put on an A minor shape. So if you do an A minor 7 shape. So down here, if you do an A minor, and then if you do an A and an A7, that's how you get a 7. So to get a minor 7 is this shape, and then you bar it on the 4th and create that minor 7 shape. But because it's barred here, that's a C sharp as your new root, so that's a C sharp minor 7. And to get to a G7, if you were on an E form and you did an E7, you take off that 3rd finger, that's an E7. So you come up to here to your G sharp, bar it, so that becomes your new nut there, this white line. that's your new bar, and then you put on an E7 shape. So that because it starts on the G sharp, it's a G sharp 7. So the first move is this: 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So what do you do when you get lonely? Okay, so the second line here, we're gonna, on the C, D and E, we're gonna go to power chords because this is quite fast. So we do the C sharp minor for 2 beats. 1, 2, and then you C is here on the 3rd fret, 5th string, and then D is on the 5th fret there, on the 5th string, and then you move it up to the 7th fret. So that's C, D, E. That is easier than going. See, you're shifting all these shapes round. Is a bit harder if you're a beginner. Look at this. Keeping that one shape and just moving it up, you can do that easy. So it goes. No one waiting by your side, with the fuller power chord. So. No one waiting by your side. Okay. You could actually, on that E, that point, just hook your fingers and strum every chord, because they all belong to E, them notes, the open notes. So C sharp minor. No one waiting by your side. So before I move on, I'm just going to put that together with the start bit. So C sharp minor for 4 beats. Move it up to the G sharp 7 shape. Back to the C sharp minor 7 for 2. And then C, E. And I think learning this helps you to start memorizing these notes that are higher up here, because a lot of people they know the first 3 frets, but you know, this will get you to start memorizing them pretty quick. So even though this looks kind of complicated, so we'll just power chord this. So F sharp minor, F sharp's on the 2nd fret top string there. And then the B is below it, so you're moving down. So as opposed to me going, doing the full chord, which is a bit hard if you're a beginner, just doing a power chord. That's nice and easy. And then to get an E, you've got to imagine this here is a power chord, because you've got a 0 there, and then this is 2 frets over on the net string. It's just the fact that I don't have to press anything on this open note that it doesn't look like that. Okay, so this is a power chord still, and then to an A, so move it down. So on this E1, I'm plucking the 6th and the 5th string here, and then move it down here. I'm plucking the 5th and the 4th. So you got. You've been running and hiding much too long. If you notice on the B, to get to the E, your first finger's in position. Just take off that little finger, and then you're on the E power chord, and then move down to the A. So you've been running and hiding much too long. I'm going to get the next bit on here. So the next F sharp minor. You know it's just your foolish pride, Layla. And then this chorus, we're going to do it like we did with the intro. And you can see it is virtually the same chords as the intro, and you got this C for 2 and the AC as well right at the end. So let's go from this D minor here, which is the 5th fret 5th string, to B flat, which is the 1st fret, then the 3rd. You got me on my knees, Layla. 1st fret with the B flat, then to C. I'm begging, darling, please, Layla. B flat 1st fret, C, and then to the D. Worried mind, 1st fret B flat, and C for 2 beats. 1, 2, then A, C, and and then you're into that C sharp minor, so moving up to the 4th. So if you're enjoying the content that I'm creating, please subscribe, it'll help me to keep making more videos. Tell you what, I'm going to show you a little bit of the next verse here, but I'm going to go through this. Tell you what, let's do the last line of here, going into the chorus in here, and I'm just going to play it. I'm not going to shout anything out, I'm just going to sing it. So from the F sharp minor, 2nd fret. You know it's just your foolish pride. To A. Layla, you got me on my knees, Layla. I'm begging, darling, please, Layla. Darling, won't you ease my worried mind? And then A, C, C sharp minor 7. Try to give you consolation. Okay, so that is the song, sort of stripped down and nice and slow. For those of you who want to just play along with it and can get it up to speed, I'm just going to go from the let's get it so it looks kind of neat. I'm going to go from the first verse and I'm going to go up to a bit of speed. So I'll just do it here, I'll just put all that on. Actually, I'll just do a verse and a chorus at a time. Right, you ready? From C sharp minor. What will you do when you get lonely? No one waiting by your side, and you've been running and hiding much too long. You know it's just your foolish pride, Layla. You got me on my knees, Layla. I'm begging, darling, please, Layla. Darling, won't you ease my worried mind? Then A, C. Let's get the next verse and chorus on. C sharp minor now. I try to give you consolation. Your old man, he let you down. Like a fool, I fell in love with you. You turned my whole world upside down, Layla. You got me on my knees, Layla. I'm begging, darling, please, Layla. Darling, won't you ease my worried mind? Okay, and then we're on to verse 3 here. Let me just get the next. I think then it just carries on doing choruses. So C sharp minor. You made the best of situation before I finally go insane. Oh, please don't say you'll never find a way to tell me all my love's in vain, Layla. You got me on my knees, Layla. I'm begging, darling, please, Layla. Darling, won't you ease my worried mind? Layla, you got me on my knees, etc, etc. Keeps going round and round. Yeah, and then you got a solo and another 2 choruses. Okay, I hope that gets you through it, and obviously there's the PDFs. If you can't find them, just email me and I'll or make a comment and I'll get the PDFs off to you. Alright, thank you very much. Bye bye.